question was really, are you in control or is somebody else? And I would tell you that having worked for a lot of, when I went to work for Save on Drugs back in 1977, they were a great company. I thought I was going to stay there forever. And they got bought. And they got bought. And they got bought. And they got bought. So sometimes it isn't necessarily what you want that happens. The world changes and they close stores and consolidate things. You don't have any control over that. I've never been in a situation where the corporate management made any decision based on how it was going to impact me. It's always based on balance sheet stuff that they do and merger stuff, things that you don't have any control over. The future is really volatile. It's going to change. It's going to change even faster than it has in the past, which is crazy. It's uncertain. It's complex. And it's pretty ambiguous. I don't think any of us really know what's really going to happen, right? So, here's the thing. As scary as that is, it's also always been true. Those of us remember going back through when chains were going to ruin the industry. There was nothing but independence, and that was going to kill everybody. And then third parties were going to ruin the industry, and that was going to kill everybody. And then computers were going to ruin the industry, and that was going to kill everybody. And then RDs were going to ruin the industry and going to kill everybody. So I mean, there's each year there's a new challenge. And the good news is, if you look around in every town in America, the only two independent businesses surviving are locally good restaurants and pharmacies. There's still 23,000 independents, in the country. That is not true of hardware stores and all those kind of things. It just doesn't happen. So there's a compelling reason why that's true, and it's because we do good work out there. So would you like to know the secret to long-term success? Really? I can tell you real quick. But first, I need to give you just a little bit of more background. The skills that my parents needed out there was, if those just aren't viable anymore. They just don't work. Things that you had to do to be successful when you started work in the 20s or 30s or 40s, they're not the same as for us. Before, if you had a good job, got a good education, had a good life, you retired, you lived okay, is anybody here really confident that they have enough put away to retire? Except Al. That's because he charges you $25 for dinner. Undergraduate degrees, people are graduating in droves, not finding jobs. Employers can't guarantee that they're going to be in business in 10 years. Remember Kodak? Kodak was in every market in the world. You could go to Morocco in the middle of nowhere, pull up to an oasis in a camel, and there was Kodak Kodachrome for sale there. When was the last time you bought a roll of film?
You don't even make it anymore.
Yeah, it's just, we don't know where it's going, but we know it won't be whatever it is right now. But here's the key. Bigger is no longer better. Bigger is no longer better. Okay?
Is that true for Walmart now?
Yes, it is. You got all the big box stores and the multi-location companies, which a lot of us have worked for, and a lot of you guys do work for. But understand how they grew and how they expanded. It was based on the country was expanding. New development all over. The population was growing. The population in the U.S. is not growing. They're already on every corner across the street from each other. Where are they going? The pickings are slim now for new locations, right? The other thing that's really key is the way they get to be big is by creating and replicating a system that they roll out and cookie cutter it to multiple locations. How does that work in healthcare? Those of us that have worked there. I tell you, it means that certain things get left out, usually. And they have to reward average. You don't get rewarded for above average, and now they're starting to punish the below average. But there's a real reason why that model will not grow in the future, because people are demanding more and more attention. They're not going to get it from a cookie cutter business. always. There are great pharmacists that work there, and they do great jobs. But you also know there's other people that work in other stores that are not as great as you are, right? And having been a chain drug supervisor at 110 stores for Thrifty Drug, as a supervisor, I ended up spending all my time in 10 stores that were the worst. I never even got to go see the good guys because they were never causing me any trouble. So it's just one of the things that happens in big. And it doesn't lead itself to modified to the neighborhood kinds of businesses, which is what people want. I don't care what the guidelines are. I don't care what your company does. I want you to help me. I don't care what the policy is. And that's where pharmacists need to take charge of that situation. Small is what the new big is. You look at what happened to Best Buy or Circuit City. Remember Circuit City? That wasn't a few years ago. They're gone. Blockbuster Video. Where are they? Right? Being big means being slow. And being slow in a market where the information base is cycling every 5 years. Everything we teach in pharmacy school is obsolete within 5 years after graduation. So how do you modify a behemoth system to react to that? It's not really very possible. So I tipped you off here, but the reason the Titanic sunk, in my opinion, was the fact that they saw the iceberg. It was a mile and a half off, but they couldn't turn the darn boat fast enough. It's so big and was moving so much inertia in that one direction, they couldn't turn. That's the problem with a big behemoth company. They can't modify, they can't react quickly to the market. And they will do their share of business. They're not going out of business. They're not going to grow at the same rate they did in the past. And right now, everybody in the world competes for everything. You guys are all competing with some guy sitting in Romania at a desktop computer. You just are. They're selling stuff to your patients, right? So the challenge is we even compete with crooks, people that don't follow the rules. Go on the NABP website. They say on their website they know of 10,000 websites that sell drugs that aren't even legal pharmacies. Does that sink in? Yeah. What do they sell that stuff for? Whatever they want. Is it even the real drug? About 40% of it's counterfeit. This is organized crime. They can go on and undercut any price you have because they're selling it and it's not even real. Or they stole it. Right? So this is the reality of the new world, is that you're competing with everybody for everything. So the only thing that you can offer is if you're going to create a valuable strategy for yourself, you have to do something that they can't steal from you. So think about it for a moment. Everything that you know and learned in pharmacy school, some of us a long time ago, is now available for free on the internet. Anybody can download it from Google. If I want to know a drug interaction, I can download it from Google. If I want to know what that drug treats, I can download it from Google. If I want to know whether I should take it with food, I can download it from Google.
Right there in
And it's right there. And thank God it's there. When people ask me, I have to go to Hippocrates and figure it out. So what does that do? Why does anybody need you anymore? That's a big question, isn't it? That's one of those unasked questions. Why do they need us anymore? And that's what I'm talking about today, is the secret. The secret that's going to keep you employed. It's the key to financial security. And I think all of us would rather be here than be the other guy. So here it is. I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to go to activity 2 on your sheet and write down your answer. And this is serious, because this is going to focus your brains on the rest of my talk. You ready? What can you do for me, assuming I am your employer or your client, that's worth what you want me to pay you? Why are you worth $120 grand a year? What are you doing for me that makes me more than that, or adds something valuable to me as your client? Okay, take 30 seconds, see what you come up with.